Today we're going to learn how to solve a non-right triangle given two sides and an included angle, or given three sides. So the law of cosines is a pretty complicated law in the fact that it's long, but other than that, you just have to be careful how we type it in. So the very first thing I'd like you to do before I give you example problems is I'd like you to copy down the law of cosines. There's three of them, really only one, but there's three given depending on what sides you're given. So you will use these three formulas if you're trying to find a missing leg. So this is if you're given a side, an angle, and a side. So it would look something like this. We're given A, we're given B, we're given this angle C, and we want to find side C. We'd use this formula. This second example, this would be a situation where my triangle is a little different. I'm given angle B, and I want to find side B, and I'm given A, and I'm given C. So there's three law of cosines if we're trying to find a missing leg. Copy each one of these down, and then I'll give you an example. And then the other time that we'll use the law of cosines is when we're trying to find a missing angle. So when we're trying to find a missing angle, we're given three sides and we want to find an angle. These are the law of cosines that I'll use to find an angle. So for instance, if I'm given three sides, A, B, and C, I'm given A, I'm given B, I'm given C, but I don't have any angle, I can go find an angle. Let's go say I find angle A by plugging it into this formula. So I'd take the cosine of A is B squared plus C squared minus A squared all over 2BC. And again, there's three of these law of cosines, but they're really the same thing. Just kind of look at them. And I'll try to tell you how you kind of look at them as one. So if I'm looking for the angle B, that's the side that you subtract. If you're looking for angle C, that's the side you subtract. If you're looking for angle A, that's the side you subtract. And then you take your other two legs, square them, and on the bottom, those bottom numbers are a product. And notice again, this is B and C, this is B and C. If these are A and C, this is A and C on the bottom. If this is A and B, then it's A and B on the bottom. Okay. So take a minute, copy down these formulas, and then we'll use them. So the first example that I'm giving you is I've given you some information. Let's write out the information I've given you. I've given you leg B is equal to 29. Leg A is 15. And I've given you angle C is 135 degrees. So we're asked to find AB. So again, let me highlight AB. And let's put on the letter that AB would represent. It's across from angle C, so it would be small letter C. So I want to find C. So let's look at our law of cosines that you just copied down. And the law of cosines that finds C squared is A squared plus B squared minus 2AB times the cosine of C. So how do you determine which one of these law of cosines that you want to use? It depends on what side you want to find. So let's go find what C squared equals. C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2 times A times B times the cosine of C, and C in this case equals a 135. So again, so c squared will equal 1681.1829. Take the square root of that. Side C should equal 41.0. So again, do a double check. C should be the largest because it's across from the largest angle, and 41 is the right answer in this case. Okay, looking at the second example, I've switched around the variables, so it will give you an idea of how to switch around if it's not an ABC. This is an XYZ. So notice we're asked to find the leg XZ, which is the leg right across from the Y angle. So I'm going to be asked to find Y. So how do I find Y squared? Well, to take Y squared, if we're given two legs and the included angle, you take 27 squared plus 28 squared. The two angles times 2 times the product of those angles times the cosine of the included angle, which in this case is 54 degrees. And again, one of the nice things about law of cosines, it's a long equation, but you can type it out. Not only can you, but you should type it out exactly like that. So y squared should equal 624.3. When you take the square root of that, y's side should be rounded off 25.0. So again, if these legs are 54 is pretty small, this side should be pretty small. Now, using the law of cosines to find an angle is a little tricky. We're given 3 sides, and this time we're asked to find angle B. So go to your previous notes and look for the formula for how to find the angle. And this, since we're asked to find B, you want to find the formula that uses your cosine of B. And cosine of B, if you look carefully, cosine of B, this is where we subtract off B squared and the other 2 legs squared, and then on the bottom, whatever legs you add are the legs that you use on the bottom. So that's how you figure out the formula, and then you just punch. There is a 2-step process here, and the 2 steps are you're going to fill in the numbers. So A in this case would be an 18. C is going to be a 28. B again is the one that we subtract. You must put things inside parentheses. And then our extra step, we're going to have what the cosine of B is. And remember from previous lessons, how do I get rid of the cosine of B? I'm going to take the cosine inverse of both sides to find what angle B is. So make sure that you're all caught up. It'll be a calculator exercise, and I'll add to this in just a second. So after punching, you should get cosine of B equals 0.956. So when you take the cosine inverse of both sides, B equals 16.99, or let's round that off to 17 degrees. So angle B should be 17 degrees. I've done another example that talks about DEF triangle. Let's see what we have first. We want to find F. So let's set up the cosine of F because that's the angle we want to find. How do I set up my formula? The F leg is the one I subtract, and the other 2 legs in this case will be E and D. Those are the ones that we put into our formula. So first of all, when we use the law of cosines to find an angle, we'll have two steps. The first step is to put in the legs that we're trying to find. Remember the angle, this is going to be a pretty big angle. The angle that we're going to try to find, the leg opposite of is the one that we subtract. And then, again, we'll have the cosine of f equal to something. And then to find out what f is, we'll take the cosine inverse of that value. So, punch with me. Cosine is going to turn out to be a negative 73148. And just take the cosine inverse of that, and angle F should be 137 degrees. So, again, that should make some sense. And why should it make sense? F should be a very big angle because it's across from a very big side.